What's good, everybody? It's your boy Todd Smith here once again, alongside my tag team partner Dale Clifford out there in Fernley, Nevada, and welcome to yet another episode of the No Gimmicks podcast. Dale, what's good, my man?
What is up? You know what? You said you were going to do it. I'm going to steal it. This interview is a big effing deal today. Big effing deal. Big effing deal is like a NorCal wrestler that is on the rise, and I think he is a very important guy that we need to the wrestling world needs to know. And I met him a while at a show in Sparks. Very humble guy who's like that works his tail off, and I absolutely hope the wrestling world gets the big time for this guy.
Yes, sir. When we had Adam Thornstowe on our show a couple months ago, we asked the question, who's got nets in the NorCal scene? Who's going to be the next guy to step up and be a superstar? Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Karl Fredericks. Karl, what's good, my man?
What's going on, guys? Man, appreciate all the kind words, first off. And thanks for having me on. Thanks for, thinking that I was interesting enough to take your time.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Our pleasure. Hey, so let's go ahead and dive right into this, man. So please share with both us and our viewers who trained you, which company gave you your start, and what inspired you to join the professional wrestling business.
I was trained at the Reno Wrestle Factory by the Reno Scum, the Wrecking Ball Paul Zadora. Frankly, gorgeous, played a good hand in my early days of training. And then the rest was, there's plenty of days where it was just Bison Braddock, Chocolate Poppy Steicher, Gene Eric. There's a lot of the students. We were just in there every day by ourselves, working on the little stuff, what have you. But yeah, man, I'm a Reno boy. Very proudly a Reno boy. And as far as what got me started, or what made me want to be a wrestler, man, I posted about it today. Just kind of saw some pictures of me and Tommy Dreamer, someone, it was me and him toe to toe. And every time I see it, stuff like that, it kind of blows me away, So I was 7 years old, probably 6, 7. And it was WCW, because at that point, the only wrestler I really had recognition of at that age was Hulk Hogan.
Right.
I had started catching episodes of Nitro or whatever on TV, or if I had come across it. I remember it was Saturday nights. It would be on Worldwide, right? Was the show WCW Worldwide was Saturday?
Yes. Mm-hmm. WCW Saturday night too.
Yeah. So I just recognized wrestling, and I'd stay, and then then it was renting the video games, and then it was really getting a grasp of everything that was going on. And it was just, I fell in love then. And then by the time I was 10, WrestleMania 17 was that was it. That was when.
Yeah, that was a good one.
2000 through like 1999 is when I really started watching WWF. I jumped ship, but yeah, WrestleMania 17 was kind of it for me. And that's when I knew, I want to do that so bad. I saw, Tough Enough came out that summer. I remember in my living room, if no one was home, my mom wasn't home, they're teaching them how to take bumps. I took my first bump in my living room alone. I stopped after the first one because it was awful. But yeah, man, 10 years old. And then I started training in 2015 at the age of 24. Here I am, 27, into my third year, and not in a bad place right now.
No, not at all, brother. And I agree. WrestleMania 17's card was absolutely loaded.
Oh, man.
I can see how that got you into it.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I got Dale, what you got for him next here?
So obviously you said you trained at Reno Wrestle Factory, as did me and Todd. You have done much, much better than we did. But what other companies have you had the honor of working for?
As far as work I've done, the first outside, or first not Reno show I did was the day after I graduated college. I graduated on Saturday. It was actually cool. We did a small house show in Hawthorne, Nevada, really small town. That I used to play in sports. I'm from a small town myself. So it was Friday night. We wrestled in Hawthorne, which was only my second match ever. And then Saturday I had my college graduation. Sunday I wrestled for SPW for the first time, and then went there a couple times. And Taylor Gregory, Dick Sexton from PCW, had so he was at an SPW show, and him and Zach Reed had talked to me after one of my matches, you know, like, hey man, we'd like you to come work for us. You know, we think you could be a star, yada, 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 all that stuff. And then I had a good little run at PCW. Haven't been there in a bit. But I've worked for them, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Super fun. My first bit of TV experience there. And September 2nd, I'm making my Pacific Coast Wrestling debut in Long Beach for Young Guns 2, which is a huge event for me. I really, really want to start working for those guys because the product is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's 8 young, extremely talented guys, and it's just a really cool card to be a part of. Obviously, All Pro Wrestling has taken me in and given me, I would like to say, a home. I'm very, very proud to be a NorCal guy, let alone, you know, a Reno guy. And I, as Adam said, you know, from the talk, I got a little bit of a chip on my shoulder about the way just wrestling is kind of perceived out here on the West Coast by some of our East Coast friends, and then just NorCal in and of itself. And I'm very proud to be a part of the product of All Pro Wrestling and what it's become just in the last, you know, year or so that I've been privileged enough to work there. There's a lot of awesome stuff going on, you know.
Mm-hmm. Out of all those companies you just mentioned, the one that intrigues me the most, because I have not actually been exposed to their product yet, is the PCW from SoCal. Because I've seen some, like, you know, some promos and stuff, and like some of their cards that they have coming up and whatnot. They've got some really good talent on those shows. Like I know, like John Morrison, he's worked some of those shows. I think even Rob Van Dam, right?
He's champion, yeah.
Okay,
I'm champion now.
I definitely got to check out some of their stuff. So now,
production quality is really good. Like their promo packages, their all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like they really put a lot of work into it. It's impressive.
Good. Yeah, I definitely ask the product, man, when they go to extra mile to do that. So now, speaking of other companies you work for, so we heard that you had the opportunity to actually go to the WWE Performance Center and try out. What advice were you given that you need to follow in order to earn yourself a spot on the WWE roster at some point?
The first time I had any type of real talk about what it takes to get there, anything, was the first time I did extra work. So this is August of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I did extra work, and I had an awful tryout match in just a not good 5 minutes in front of William Regal, and didn't show him a whole lot. Not to go into who I wrestled or whose fault it was, anything like that. But I talked to him afterwards. And at this point, I think I wrestled like 6 matches total. Mm-hmm. I had been training since January, and here it is August, and I'm already, doing extra work. But he talked to me for quite a bit, and biggest takeaway was at the best in the world wrestle there. Mm-hmm. Like if you want to make it there, you really need to make it. You need to make yourself some sort of a commodity to them and something of value that they need. And regardless of who you work for prior to them, there's nothing that that'll blackball you from being hired there. You can work everywhere, but you need to be ready to be the absolute best, because if you can't hang with the best, then you won't make it there.
Right. Yeah. Couldn't have said any better myself, man. So Dale, what you got next for him here?
So recently, you competed at the Cow Palace, and you captured the APW Internet title.
Yes, sir.
So, who was the inspiration for that? Is it CM Punk or is it Hideo Itami?
With the GTS?
Yeah.
It was. So sorry, there's a glitch. I'm a big CM Punk fan. And I like Hideo Itami too, but it just kind of came, early in my career, one of those things, like CM Punk had just stopped wrestling that year, 2015. And this is, not to say I was doing it before Hideo Itami, but there was no one, on the big stage doing it. Hideo hadn't been in NXT yet. And this was, I remember, like legitimately at Denny's with Ryan McQueen and Adam Thornstowe, discussing once I get going, once I get working matches, like what should I use as a finish type of thing. Threw out some ideas, and then I take pride in my GTS over other people's, because I can put 320 pounds over my head, and I've never seen CM Punk or Hideo fully extended with the, you know what I mean? Like I just Mine's different. I feel like mine's stronger. But yeah, it's just a cool move. I like to throw head kicks and stuff like that, you know. So I'm an MMA fan. So any type of head strike stuff like that, I think are just fun, you know. But yeah, I knew that I wanted to do some sort of overhead move. At least have it in my arsenal, knowing that it's like my strongest lift, you know.
Man, pressing over 300 pounds over your head. I'm afraid of you, brother. Get them gains. So now, hey, at 7th Slam, you had the opportunity to step foot in the ring with ECW original, the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer. So what was it like going head to head with him, someone who you grew up watching and whatnot, you know, and was definitely probably an influence on you and whatnot early on?
Yeah, man. Like I said today, it was something like I see the pictures and I keep going back, going back and forth between like, holy crap, that's so cool. And then I found myself in different points of the match, kind of like it was like I was stepping out of body and like just enjoying it as a fan too. You know, at one point where he throws me over the rail and we're battling in the crowd and there's ECW chants the whole time, you know, from the moment he came out, you know, and there's those ECW chants and he's hitting me in the head with the trash can. And as it's coming up, I'm just kind of, I remember I was on my knees looking up and like part of me is like, this is so cool. And then, you know, then I got hit with the trash can and it brought me back like, oh, you know, holy crap, I'm in a fight. Sorry. But it was an honor, man. Cause it was legitimately one of those guys, you know, like I've always been like my favorite wrestlers, if I tell you growing up, were like, you know, The Rock, Jeff Hardy, like Stone Cold, probably that, you know, Rock and Jeff Hardy, my two guys really. But Tommy Dreamer is one of those guys like I've always just admired. Just a bit, you know, especially you watch those, like you watch the rise and fall of ECW, things like that. And then just as far as what wouldn't come off the character he'd given, just as a human being, just you watching those things, you know, and you hope, you know, people say don't meet your idols, things like that. And he was an awesome guy. He was great to work with. I learned a lot during, before and after. He was kind enough to give me pointers and, you know, take his time. Poor guy was in a rush, you know, late flights and stuff like that. Had a rough day before. Unfortunately, apparently I'm going to be the last person to have given him a spine buster. That is now on his list of retired moves with the choke slam.
Nice.
Sorry. He told me, he comments on my Instagram post today, said that his neck hates me. But yeah, it was an honor and a pleasure. It wasn't just, you know, it's always nice when they're good guys too.
Yes, that's not always the case. Yeah, we definitely meet some good guys, and there are plenty of them in the wrestling business. Don't be fooled by that. So Dale, what you got next for Karl here?
So was your match with Tommy before the rope gave out or after?
It was before. I was actually walking from the merch table. So me and Steicher had left Stockton and drove through the night to Vegas, just the two of us, because we had Future Stars of Wrestling the next day. So we left a tad bit early, I think right before main. But yeah, we were walking right by the ring as the dive happened. So that was pretty scary to see.
Well, it's like obviously it's like I don't know if Adam ever told you my stories, like, and not to bring this on me, is like I was doing the rope run training.
Yeah.
The top and middle rope gave out when we were doing it. I tripped over the bottom rope and knocked myself out.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's awful. I've seen that.
I don't remember a damn thing either after it happened.
Right.
Adam and all of them said I was like snoring on the ground. So that was that's probably that is my big wrestling moment, and it's one I don't even really remember.
Yeah. That's scary, man.
But I was like, I will say Matt handled the fall out of the ring better than I did.
Oh my God. And then, but to be like, I can't think of a much worse move to be doing while the rope gives, you know what I mean? Arms out, head down, but very, very athletic on his part. And, you know, thankfully he was fine.
Yes, definitely, man. Yeah, because I enjoy watching that dude too much on Lucha Underground, man. Is something to have it. So I'm glad he's okay.
So one of the other things I kind of just speaking along the lines of this, what is have you ever been in the ring and it kind of experienced something going kind of a malfunction of sorts, is like that kind of caught you off guard?
So I don't know. You can see this ugly scar on my hand here. I broke my hand doing it was at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, doing a frog splash. My theory of what had happened was my timing got thrown off because Ryan McQueen we were doing a tag match and was doing a dive out.
Okay.
And while I was climbing the top rope, so I was on the top rope, and the ref had gotten in his way, so he didn't do a clean jump over the rope. He did like the house show plancha, you know. So him shaking the ropes, like in my head, I think it just sent me a little earlier than I had liked, and for whatever reason, I just the splash was clean, but I kind of have my hands out like this. And I spiked my finger into the mat, and I thought that I broke my finger. But luckily, that was the finish of the match. The weird thing was, you know, so I did it, and I knew something was wrong, did the pin, whatever, celebrated with him. You can see me, you know, doing all of this stuff in between. And luckily, we were out of there, you know, by the time it was, you know, went backstage. My hand was broken, drove home, whatever, had surgery a couple weeks later. And then the other was War Pig was catching me as the SPW. Yeah, he had, I did a dive out, like the Undertaker dive out, you know, and poor guy, he's said sorry 1,000 times. He caught me as safe as could be, like as absolute, you know, that's the guy you can trust 100%,
yeah.
Like that. And so he caught me, but the way we had turned, I just smacked my head on a chair, and then this just big chunk of, you know, ripped a big chunk of my head out, and I was bleeding a ton. So then it was kind of cool, because then we started to brawl, and I was like, well, hopefully I'll get some good pictures out of this. And we finished the match, and I knew I hit my head hard, but I didn't know until I saw all the blood dripping everywhere, you know. And then he afterwards, he could, you know, again, just being the nice guy that he is, apologized, you know, 20 times. But he, as far as the dive and the catch, I mean, I couldn't have been any safer than how he did it, you know.
Yeah, Jody's a good dude. I got to party with him and his brother up there in Reno.
Yeah,
he, you know, he was kind of just coming into the business around the time, like when we were training with RWF. So yeah, definitely good people indeed.
Yeah.
So now, getting back to yourself here, based off of your physical appearance and because of like the tattoos and whatnot,
yes,
people inquired if you were part of the NOI wrestling family. Like, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what ethnicity you are or whatnot, but is that something that people have kind of, you know, like thrown at you?
Oh, all the time. Just you know, with the tribal tattoo.
Yes.
And everything. I'm Native American. I'm Paiute.
Oh, okay.
My dad, you know, it's on my dad's side. He's from Schurz, Nevada, up here. Registered member of the Walker River Paiute tribe. But yeah, I'm Native American.
Okay, so am I. I got Choctaw.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So your family from the Midwest?
Actually, no, they're actually from the South.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just about my whole entire family was from the South. I was born and raised out on the West Coast, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we have that in our bloodline. So yeah, so okay.
I've been asked about that. I mean, not that I can see why, you know, but yeah, some Native American.
Cool, very cool. All right, Del, what you got next for Karl here?
All right, so you are a part of the BGC.
Yes, sir.
So if you could have a dream feud with the NWO or the Bullet Club, what would it be?
The NWO or who?
The Bullet Club.
Oh, oh man.
Y'all are both big stables, man.
Right,
so we
yeah,
figured
right.
somebody can match up against y'all, you know, like in terms of physical and manpower and whatnot.
You know, man, I'm gonna go Bullet Club just because if I matchup, like you get like the Scum and the Bucks, you know, like that matchups like that, or you know, me and Stryker tag together now and then, or just because the BGC is a big, you know, there's a lot of guys, it's not just the Reno guys that are in it, but like just I'll say Bullet Club, man, just because as far as them working, you know, as many companies they work for, and when you got guys like Adam Thornstowe in the group, like you gotta, you know, I want to see, you know, us go against guys that can go, you know, not that the NWO couldn't, but it's just, you know, I'm trying to, like, today, the way things are today, as opposed to, you know, wrestling in the 90s.
Okay, you and maybe Chocolate Poppy up against the Gorillas of Destiny.
Because I mean, like, the way I see it, everything goes right. That's a possibility.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. You keep on going the way you're going, man.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So now, besides being a professional wrestler, I have heard that you also are a bartender at a nightclub out there in Reno called The Edge. Am I correct about that?
No longer, but I did. Yeah, I worked there for almost 2 years. Yeah.
Okay, so since you're no longer there, it's up to you if you feel like sharing this or not, because I have spent several long nights at the Edge.
Oh yeah.
I was living out there in Reno, Nevada.
Yeah.
So what would you say was like the wildest night that you had there? I mean, just like something that really stuck out, you know, from when you were bartending there.
Oh man. I mean, I guess I'm not getting anybody in trouble here, but there were just some nights where obviously, you know, there's just being the workers where we may have, you know, we weren't quite sober, and you know, and there's a lot of times the nights would turn into us working, and you know, and you're partying the entire time you're working, and then you have, whether it be you have a mix of bartenders, go-go dancers, and then the cocktail waitress. Everyone in the entire group goes out afterwards. We go out after work when we leave work at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, this is Reno life, baby.
And then it's 10 a.m. on Sunday, and like I'm finishing my part. You know what I mean? And then so just some nights like that, and then you know, some stuff
that happened
behind the scenes, this and that here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, man, I know, because like I said, that was the hot club, you know, like when I was out there, like about probably like 5-6 years ago. We used to go there all the time, man. That's a good time indeed.
Yeah.
All right, what you got next for him there, Dale?
So you are a University of Nevada graduate, as am I. Again, not my attention. And you majored in criminal justice.
Yes.
So if you weren't a professional wrestler, would that been the full career path for you?
As far as criminal justice goes, so I had found a passion for the subject of corrections, more so the things that we lack in our correctional system, whether it be programming or you know, things of that sort. We incarcerate more people in our country than any other country in the world. Where there are other countries who are shutting prisons down because they're not full, and we're opening private prisons, you know, just because things are done differently. There's countries where you know, imagine like mandatory minimums for things like marijuana in this country, or you know, just kind of our drug laws that need to change, where there's people that aren't they're being incarcerated, but they're not a threat to society. You know, the first cage ever built was to keep a harmful person away from the public. And there are plenty of people that are in prison that are mentally ill and chemically addicted to substances, and they need help. They need programming. And, you know, no different than if you just locked your kid in a room and told, you know, they do something bad, you lock your kid in a room and tell them, you know, you come out in a couple hours, they're not getting anywhere with that. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of the same thing, especially with people who mentally are not in a certain capacity as others are. But yeah, there's countries that, as far as like tickets and stuff, say a speeding ticket, you know, if you can financially handle just the minimum ticket, they will charge you a higher fee for if you keep speeding, because, you know, if you're rich, say, you know, that's $70 or whatever, that's not going to deter you from speeding, right?
Right, exactly.
So they measure it based on things that are actually going to deter you from doing the crime again. And those same countries are offering programming for their inmates rather than just incarcerating them. They're sentencing them to community-based corrections where they're being taught to function in society, where they're not going to, you know, they're giving them autonomy, and they're giving them skills to function, to have jobs, stuff like that. So what the direction I was being guided in would be to get my master's in public administration, and then as far as that, try to work my way into working for the state, and then changing correctional policy, changing things like that, trying to, you know, and not single-handedly, you know, and there's people that are doing this stuff, but trying to get programming in our prisons rather than, you know, just stuff these people in there and let them sit there and then come out and then be expected to succeed in society. And I'm not someone who's like, you know, the way some people look at it as like an inmate lover, like just like overly caring. I just, there's so many things, you know, these evidence-based practices that are proven to work. but we don't implement them, you know?
Yeah.
And it costs money, but it costs more money to keep these people housed, you know, to keep someone in prison than it does put your kid through Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, however, you know, that such a high incarceration rate and recidivism rate because while they're in there, nothing's being corrected, you know?
Right, right. Well said, man. I'm telling you, yeah. I mean, there's definitely, you know, more benefits to rehabilitating someone to make sure that they do productive things on the outside and they don't return.
Well, and you look at it, you know, I was a business minor too. So you look at it as if maybe say a business plan, you know, we spend all this money to make this iPhone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we spend a ton of money on it. We put it out, get it out in the public, and it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So it returns to us, and we're spending more money to fix it or to do whatever rather than getting it right the first time and taking our time. You know what I mean? It costs you more money in the long run. And the people that the criminal justice scholars and all these people that, as far as these evidence-based practices and these theories of what we're doing wrong here, they don't speak this language. You know what I mean? So, and our politicians and our decision makers, they're businessmen. So there needs to be some sort of that gap needs to be bridged, you know, so they can speak those languages to each other. Because otherwise, it's these people that are proving this stuff and just telling other people who know the stuff and can't really do anything about it.
Yes, very well thought and very, very well said there, my man. So we're going to go ahead and move on here to some questions from social media. So first off here, we got Roger D. Tripp Jr. from Facebook. The first question he has for you is, what was it like working in such a historic venue as the Stockton Memorial Civic Auditorium? Ironically, this was the same venue where Vader infamously attacked Gorilla Monsoon during the episode of Monday Night Raw years ago, if you recall that incident. So what was it like being in that building, man?
The first thing I noticed, so you walk in and there's the big stage, you know, of the auditorium, and I mean, I know it's an old building, but it's just a beautiful building. And then me being able to wrestle Tommy Dreamer in that setting with that, you know, it's a very, very intimate space. And there's, you know, the floor was full and then there were still people up top as well. And it felt like I was in Philadelphia, you know what I mean? Like it had that ballroom, you know, it's a ballroom. It had that intimate vibe, but it was a really cool, and like I'm super weird about like the moment we get to a show, the vibe of the show, the vibe of the day, you know, things at the gym. Like there's certain gyms I hate when we go to Vegas, like I beg the scum, like, can we please not go to this gym? The vibes of this gym suck, man. I feel like, you know, I can't get a good workout here. And it was just a cool building, man. It was a great experience.
Right on. Dale, what you got next for him?
All right, so next one comes from a VSW from a Twitter. He wants to know, outside of WWE, what company would you reach New Japan Pro Wrestling Global Force Wrestling and join the scum?
It would be, I mean, considering the fact that the scum signed to Global Force, that would be really cool, especially, you know, a little tip of the hat to the Reno boys, you know, all being one signed or, you know, to the same company, but it's bucket list for me to wrestle in Japan. So if I could do it for New Japan Pro Wrestling, I mean, done.
Dream match. Who would you want to face once you get over there, if it happens for you?
Man, I want to wrestle Kenny Omega so bad.
Okay, yeah, that would be good.
I mean, you know,
you can go for about 45 to an hour with Kenny, like Okada.
I mean, if that's not the goal, then why am I doing this? You know, like I want to have those matches. I want to, you know, I look back like Sting, Ric Flair, you know, like I want to do an Iron Man match one day.
Cool.
I want to be that caliber. Yeah, absolutely.
Right on.
The hour-long Iron Man match, not the half-hour ones that we get now.
Yeah. I don't want the NXT in-house takeover 30-minute. You know.
Yeah, you want the real deal.
I want an hour. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, hey, Metal Growler from Reddit wants to know. He says, is there any chance of the BGC becoming more of an official storyline faction at other companies outside of SPW?
I mean, nothing's in the works right now, but I think that if that were pitched to us, that done. So, you know what I mean? Especially the days like we get to travel on the road as a group together. And then we're talking in the car the whole time and excited about like we're doing this together. We're not only we're on the same show as usual, but like it's the BGC. Like we go to SPW and it's a BGC trip, and we're gonna go this next trip. We're gonna go early the day before. We're gonna go Saturday, and we're gonna get a lift in. We're gonna go eat together. We're gonna go down there Saturday night, have a good time, and because we say nobody has more fun than us. Nobody funds harder than the BGC, and it's just, man, it's like, you feel like you're the clique, like we're the clique out here kind of thing.
Okay.
And it's like, I love those trips, man. It's like everything you want out of, I'm wrestling and living my dream, but then I'm doing it with people that are like-minded, people that are interested in me being my best as well as bettering themselves. And we have fun. It's all business, but like it's so much fun from start to finish. We all get along really well, and we even butt heads in like the right way. And it's come from someone who, I grew up. I only have sisters. Like they're my brothers. Those guys are my brothers.
So now, with that being said, it sounds like you guys are a pretty cohesive unit and everything. There's one more question from Metal Growler here.
Yeah.
He's asking the question, if things were to break down and you guys were to get into a shoot fight with all of the members of the BGC. Oh, wow. At the end of the day, who would be the last man standing? That's not just the Reno contingent. I mean, I'm talking about all the boys, JR and Cobb and all of you guys, Will Hobbs, all of you. If somebody were to be the last man standing, who would be?
So it's all the boys, and we're just
and y'all are just brawling. It just comes out where y'all are just duking it out. Who's the last man standing?
I mean, God, I don't know how do you choose? You got. I mean, I've heard. I call them horror stories from like the street fights that the Scum have been in. I know. I played football against Steicher in high school.
Yeah. Okay.
We played in an all-star game together. I knew who he was in high school just because he was a phenomenal athlete. I know Steicher's tough. I know Wolfgang also played college football like the two of us. I'm sure it's not fun if he were to get a hold of you. You've seen what Jeff Cobb can do to people. Yep. And, I don't know if you've seen Kratos's hit the training video. Like him and his, like whether it be like kickboxing, is all the MMA stuff he does. Like Kratos is a bad dude.
I know. Trust me, I got to step in the ring with him while I was training. That dude don't play, man. He's the real deal. And then you got like Will. Whoever, I'll say that whoever's the last man standing is fairly lucky and probably won't be in good shape. But I don't know. How do you choose? You know what I mean? Like, because I'm assuming it's impossible to knock Lester out. Yeah, that'd be a pretty tough task, man.
He uses his head as a weapon, and that's real life. Like,
yeah. All right,
so I have no answer for that guy. I'll be smart enough to say it's not me.
Okay.
I'll be fair on that end.
All right. Cool. So Dale, go ahead and wrap this up for us, brother.
Oh, one more question, side question. I'm just curious, the hat you're wearing, is that for Niners?
Turn around, buddy. Yes. All right, cool. Glad you were there, Dale.
Yes.
That throwback logo.
I just had to ask if that was San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
If you want to question my fanhood, well, one, I'm wearing it now in dark. But I owned a Tim Rattay jersey, people. I purchased a Tim Rattay jersey.
Woo, that's loyalty right there, brother.
Yeah. And nobody knows who that is. And then the only way, like, then I'm like, yeah, that was like around the JT O'Sullivan, Sean Hill, QB battle. And they're like, no, I have no idea who those guys are. And there's no reason to, times,
Yeah. No, you can talk to Dale, man, because Dale is a way more loyal 49ers fan than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JT O'Sullivan and Tim Rattay and all of those group of guys. It was like we kind of started to fall into put the name of the quarterback on the fig and until we got it right, kind of like the Browns. Not as bad, but it was getting to that point. It was like we're throwing a name on the back of the jersey every other year.
Yeah, and then we were different offensive coordinator. Man, and I've always been in college. I loved him, and I was always a believer, and I'm still like a firm believer in Alex Smith. I love Alex Smith.
Okay.
He's he'll lead the league in efficiency. He's a good quarterback. Not everybody's Tom Brady throwing
he's getting that
long ball, but like Alex Smith is a good quarterback, and I was like the situation Cap was in the last couple of years, 3 offensive coordinators, whatever, 3 coaches in 3 years, stuff like that. That was Alex Smith every year, a different head coach, different system, and you get the right guy in the right system, and look what happened, So I was real hurt when we sat him and got rid of him, but he's doing well in Kansas City, so it's good. Warms my heart. I've such a big soft spot for that guy, man.
And then you got Dale here, who's Cap all the way. So I mean, so y'all could definitely have some conversations, man.
Like we said, man, that Nevada Wolfpack,
yes.
And then a Niner fan, so obviously I wanted him to succeed, and he was put in a not very good situation.
Mm-hmm.
But
right on.
Alrighty. So now we've had our good 49er discussion. At this time, it's like Karl's like, we're going to give the floor to you, and you go ahead and pitch any upcoming shows you've got, and then let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
All right. So social media, we'll start with that. You can find me. I am Karl Fredericks _ and that's Fredericks FREDERICKS _ BGC on, I believe that's Twitter and Instagram. You can Facebook's just Karl Fredericks. I have like an official, like a wrestling page that I started, but I mean, nobody everyone just added the personal one, so I might as well just add the personal one. You can follow me on Snapchat. That information's all on my Instagram. As far as upcoming shows, next week, September 2nd, I am making my Pacific Coast Wrestling debut in Long Beach, California for Young Guns 2. I'll be wrestling Jarrell Nelson, standout from SoCal, and I'm trying to, like Adam said, like we started this conversation off, I'm going to go down there and show them that I am the best young wrestler in the entire West Coast, and that NorCal especially is much more than some people perceive it to be. But Steiker's going to go down there and do the same. I think it's just us and Vegas. I think there's some Arizona. Yeah, Arizona, and it's a lot of the South, LA, that region. But me and Steiker are going to go down there and do the Reno boys proud and do NorCal proud. I will be at SPW next month. September 22nd, I will be defending successfully, might I add, my internet title once again. That match is to be announced very soon. That show is going to be Adam posted it the other day as well, or yesterday. That is, I think, is going to be like the sleeper card of the year, because it's a Jim Moore show. It's another high school benefit show.
Okay.
Man, the turnout's always good and the crowd's always live, but like the talent on the show and the matchups, I think like this card's going to be dope. Let's see. I'm trying to. So there's the Fight LA, this Bumps and Bruises promotion. I don't know if you guys have seen they're running the show. So running the show it's Hate in the Reno Scum. Jeff Cobb's main eventing. It's a pretty cool card, but it's the day after APW, so it's September 23rd. I'm not booked, but I will be in LA, and I just might stop by. I mean,
okay.
Might stop by and see if I can get into a fight or something.
All right.
So yeah, we'll see.
Right on.
Closed mouths don't get fed, right? So I might show up and see what's up.
That much is for sure. Hey, one thing else is for sure. We could sit here and talk wrestling, myself, Karl, and Dale. We could talk wrestling all night long, but unfortunately, we have come to the end of this episode of No Gimmicks Podcast. So thank you, everyone, for joining us for our interview with the Big F and Dale, Karl Fredericks. We are No Gimmicks, no image, all wrestling, all the time. Please subscribe to our official YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/the No Gimmicks Podcast. Make sure that you subscribe publicly so that way we are aware of your support. Also, check out Craig Perkins' article, Around the Ring and Back Again, on ProWrestling.com. We would like to hear from our viewers, so please leave us some feedback in our comment section. Also, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at the No Gimmicks PC. Remember, sharing is caring. Feel free to share the links to our episodes with other professional wrestling fans and on your social media accounts as well. That does it for this episode of No Gimmicks Podcast on the 3 and Out Radio Network. For my tag team partner Dale Clifford in Fernley, Nevada, this is Todd Smith in Bristol, Connecticut signing off. Until next time around, y'all take care.